Good morning or afternoon because I decided to go to bed this morning after work instead of jumping straight into recording. So we're getting a little bit of a late update here for this week's Shiny Progress update. Not a very big update. I don't have a lot to report. Now, I did get Zamazenta from Pokemon Go Shiny. Got it the first day that it launched. It was like my third raid that I had done of it. I remoted into one and I hosted two, and this one was the second one that I hosted. So, third raid overall that I got Shiny Zamazenta. I was super stoked for that one. Um, other than that, it's been a little bit of an interesting week. So I do have a little bit of a cleanup work to do. I'm gonna go ahead and put the Zamazenta where it belongs. Although that I believe might be my only major. Yeah, that was like my biggest gain for this week was the Zamazenta. Now, you go like all the way over here, not here. Not here. Oh wait, yes, you're over here somewhere. Nope, you are over here. Okay. Double check that number because numbers off the top of my head. 889. Okay, so 889 would mean, let's see, 900 94, 321, 90. Yep, 89 right there. So Zamazenta goes there. I do know that my wife has Zacian on that one, so we've got that one covered. So we did get that. We got it transferred. We got it put in. My Deoxys resets in Leaf Green have reached over 550, and I still haven't got it to Sparkle, which I'm not surprised. It's a 1 in 8,000 chance for it does, and that doesn't even necessarily mean that I'm going to get it within 8,000 resets. It's just a matter of trying to get that shit going, and then I still need 3 more after I get this one shiny. So that's going to be a whole ordeal. Uh I did manage to get a stream going where we were doing Dynamax Adventures in Sword and Shield with some viewers on Twitch. But it took me a flipping hour to figure out why I was having connection problems. So, for anybody who's not in the know, I have with me my main Nintendo Switch that you see on the screen here, and then there's also my wife's Switch. Between the two of us, we have Sword version and Shield version. So sometimes when I'm doing raids and stuff, like when I was doing Terra raids, I might have her Switch coming in with the turbo controller, basically rapid clicking the A button to make sure that first attack slot goes off as quick as possible in the Terra raids, usually with a support move like Acid Spray or something else to that effect to help the raid while I focus on more driven strategy on the main Switch. With Sword and Shield, obviously the turbo controller thing might not be as good because it's the turn-based raid structure with the Dynamax, especially with Dynamax Adventures where you're using rentals. But I could get those two switches connected to each other on the internet. For some reason, other people we weren't able to connect to other people until we figured out what was wrong. It turns out T-Mobile's like home wireless internet specifically does not play well with Sword and Shield. I couldn't connect to anybody except the other Switch because I would assume because they were both connecting off of the same Wi-Fi on the same T-Mobile service, but I couldn't connect to anybody else that was trying to connect to us on stream for those Dynamax adventures. I ended up having to use my cell phone as a mobile hotspot, which worked even though it's also T-Mobile. Go figure. I don't get it. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a network expert, but somehow mobile hotspot over a T-Mobile cell phone works where T-Mobile's home internet wireless doesn't. Go figure. Sword and Shield and T-Mobile don't get along. Uh, First time I've had that issue come up since I guess the last time I played Sword and Shield, we had a different internet service which was similarly garbage for other reasons. Um, but that was kind of a weird thing. So yeah, it took us an hour to figure that shit out, and it's like, I found that information after some Google searching and found that people had posted on T-Mobile support forums that Pokemon Sword and Shield specifically would not connect. Other games, just fine. It's just Pokemon Sword and Shield for some reason. Who knew? But we did eventually get that figured out. We did a few Dynamax adventures. I did get a shiny Seismitoad from that. Unfortunately, Seismitoad was one that we already had. And in that one adventure where I got the Seismitoad, I was actually given a choice between two shinies, both of which I already had. So I just picked Seismitoad because I'm like, the other one was Luxray. I'm like, I've gotten plenty of other Shinx and Luxio and Luxray across other games that they're available in. So I'm like, I'll take the Seismitoad. I don't see as many shinies of them, so I'll just grab that one instead. It's sitting off, uh, probably still in my Sword version. I don't think I transferred those over yet. Oh, speaking of which, I had most of a living dex already stored on home, and the shield version that is on my partner's Switch here, that one did not have the shiny charm, so I did spend a chunk of time transferring in my living dex over to touch trade it over to that shield version on the other Switch so that that could go ahead and get the shiny charm going. So now I've got both of those Switches, sword version and shield version, with the shiny charm, so that at least when if I get both of them connected through the mobile hotspot and we're doing Dynamax adventures, at least in my own personal hunts, I'll have two shots at the shiny each time I go into a raid. So hopefully we get some luck there. Uh, I am still looking for Sandstorm and Sun postcards in Pokemon Go. I do have pretty much every other postcard for Vivillon patterns that I need in Go starred so that they don't get deleted, so that when I transfer them to Scarlet and Violet to do shiny hunting for Vivillon patterns, I can get them. It's just a matter of go ahead, get it transferred over, and start that Vivillon shiny hunting process. Even though I can only do it once a day, it is. I mean, with the Vivillons, what is it? I believe I have at least three already. Let's see. Vivillon. Nope, that's regional variants. That's unknown. That's Vivillon. I do already have three, plus three that Jenny's got. So out of 19 Vivillon, we have six covers. There's only 13 that I need to do. I'm not even really too worried about trying to rush those 13 out. If I can get it once per day and make sure I get the shiny in that day, whether or not it's going to be on stream when I'm doing those hunting or if it's going to be something else, we'll see when that time comes. Maybe I'll actually do one of those tonight. I still have to do my postcard switch for today. I could go ahead and swing that. That might be a stream. I don't know if that's going to be tonight or another day, but we could just chill out for Vivillon hunting at some point. Um, Regieleki raids are starting in Pokemon Go on Wednesday, so if anybody else out there is doing shiny hunts for Regieleki, uh, keep an eye out for those. Good luck with that. I may do a little bit of Regieleki hunting because I don't think I've caught one in Pokemon Go. I did get the Regieleki from my original Sword version save before I did a reset. This time around, I am going to be going for Regidrago. But I don't need the shiny because my wife already has that one and has offered to go ahead and have that sent over so that we can fill it in the Pokedex. She has been working on sending some things over each week to try and add to that. I just haven't gotten and traded them all into home yet, but they are available, and the ones that she has are marked. And she does have the Regieleki that's basically waiting for transfers, waiting for trades to go back and forth. Um, Not this week, but next week on Wednesday, on April 1st, Regidrago is going to be in Pokemon Go raids, which I know I said I'm going for Regidrago in Pokemon Sword, since I've got it in the DLC and everything. But shiny hunting it even with the shiny charm odds and all that can still be a pain in the ass. So Pokemon Go raids might be a much easier time to get a hold of that shiny. Anybody else needing Regidrago shinies? Those raids are coming. They're going to be there in Pokemon Go April 1st. They last for a week. I am going to be I'm going to be hunting that one die hard. I'm going to be going in, maybe use a couple of remote raid passes, get on a couple Discords, Pokegenie, all that good stuff, so that I can host and try and get that shiny Regidrago, because the shiny legendary, shiny non-legendary Pokemon, usually have several ways to hunt them. Legendaries, they do have several ways, but they're all a pain in the ass. So Regidrago on the raids, I'm gonna be going for that one. That if I get it in Go, that'll also save me potentially hundreds of resets in Sword version trying to get it. So I would like to skip that if I can. With that, our numbers, I believe, I did a little bit of addition, and I believe that I am at 660 total shiny Pokemon obtained for the forms. That's counting what we have in Pokemon Go, what my wife has on hold, and what is stored in Pokemon Home. So that's 660 total, with 413 registered and locked in on Home. So we do have quite a bit going in our favor there. Still a lot of progress to do, but we did make a little bit of a dent today. And even though I didn't get as much into the Dynamax adventures this past week as I would have liked to try and get some shiny hunts out of it, the fact that we identified and solved the problem that I was having with it can at least take some steps forward into getting that. So that's where we're at. I know it's not a big update week. It's mostly a little bit of a recap, some stuff that kind of get added in, same, not too much changing. I do have a regular job that I do. Like this does not pay bills. But I'm having a good time with it so far. I am getting some support here and there with viewers on Twitch helping me with those Dynamax adventures. And oh, that reminds me, we did have one Dynamax adventure that somebody on Twitch had hosted with us for Zygarde. And holy fudge nuggets, that thing's a pain in the ass. I freaking swear, the Zygarde did this shit on purpose. So our squad had suffered a total of I think 2 knockouts over the course of that fight, because the Zygarde kept using single target moves, or not even the single target moves. It was mostly doing the Land's Wrath, but 2 of our squad mates had flying types, so they were immune to it. We suffered a total of 2 knockouts, and then Zygarde finally decided to use Thousand Arrows, the ground type attack that's really strong and actually hits flying type Pokemon and knocks them onto the ground. It waited until a good chunk into the raid before it did that. And when it did, the entire squad was in the yellow for their HP, and we just got absolutely wiped. It knocked out all 4 of us at once. I swear the computer did that shit on purpose. It was like, oh, I'm going to set up a 4-player knockout all at once. I know that's maybe a little conspiracy-esque because, CPUs don't usually put that much malicious thought into things. But no. That Zygarde did that shit on purpose. I swear.